This time we attend the National Motorcycle Museum's final trial classic day of the season. With winter closing in, the 4th of October saw the final trial classic day of this year. And as usual, this was pretty well attended, despite rather poor weather predictions. And as usual, there was a really good mix of machines, including this 500cc big single, the AJS Model 18, a recent acquisition for the museum. Initially there was an AJS Big Port, but that turned out to be too damn fast for the narrow little track that we were using. More appropriate, however, was BSA's S29 Sloper, a gorgeous machine and one of my all-time favourite bikes actually. And if you wanted to ride something a little bit different, well, BSA had sent along a couple of their new Bantam 350 models. Deb's favourite, the Triumph 3SW military bike, was out, and I thought that she'd jump on that first, and I was amazed when she came flying by on the aerial leader. Amazed because she jumped on the thing so damn early. Most of us were still pondering which bike to get on, and she'd already got a lap or two in. Now, aerial sporty two-stroke isn't for everybody, but for me this chassis, particularly around this tight circuit, is absolutely stunning. You seriously feel like getting your knee down wouldn't be a problem were you so inclined. But it's worth remembering these aren't our bikes, so a little bit of respect is in order, I think. Now while Deb was mucking around with a screaming two-stroke, I jumped on this lovely A7. It's a plunger model and is a very nice bike. It's a bike I've ridden quite a few times in the past and on the open road, and can testify that this is one of BSA's finest ever machines. The gearbox is excellent, the engine extremely smooth, and the whole bike is really comfortable and a joy to ride on any road. But as I came to the end of my ride, who should I spy waiting for me to take over the bike?
Down first.
Alright. Okay then. Young Tom. Now you may notice a distinct absence of video featuring him today. This is because the silly beggar forgot to switch his camera on. The bike incidentally that he's just been riding is BSA's S29 Sloper. For me it's one of the best gear default machines ever to grace the road. It's simple, plentiful because lots and lots of them were sold, and the chassis feels really up to date. It honestly steers just as well as something from the 1950s or 60s. And the performance is pretty good too, from BSA's 25 horsepower big single. This is one 1920s machine which is more than capable of keeping up with most modern traffic. Deb too would take a ride out on the Sloper, and she agrees with me this is definitely a bucket list bike. Sure, there are more glamorous models from the period, and even back in the day some people kind of looked down their nose at the thing, but actually this is a bloody brilliant bike. Now for those of you missing out on a bit of young rider input, here's a shot of Tom about to go out on the Jap-engined Royal Enfield. Now when he came back in, Tom handed it over to his mum, and Deb would take the bike out for a ride too. Riding this Royal Enfield is a sharp contrast to BSA's Sloper. The engine is an overhead valve Jap unit, so it produces lots of power and sounds really fantastic. But the gear change pulls towards you and so sticks in your leg when you're in first gear, which is a problem on these tight little tracks because you can't get out of first, there are only 3 gears anyway. So the thing's sticking in your leg all the way around, which makes for a rather less than comfortable riding position. And on most of these bikes, it's a really good idea to be able to grip the tank with your knees, simply because they tend to wobble about a bit and feel like they're hinged in the middle. And this particular machine has quite a lot of play in the front girder forks, so it can feel a little bit uneasy, but you do get used to it, and in fact the quicker you go on the thing, the better and smoother it feels. Potter around really slowly and it can be quite unnerving.
Start it for me. I'm rubbish at starting. You need to get it on the centre stand.
I'll see if I can get it from the seat.
Alright.
No, you got it tucked in the centre. It's got it tucked in.
Yeah?
You got this? No, it's alright.
The Triumph Tiger 110 is a machine with which all 3 of us are very well acquainted. Triumph's top dog in the days before the Bonneville, the 110 is an excellent machine, smooth, with decent performance and reasonable ride. And despite its big size, it handles this tight course really rather well. The AGS Model 18. Oddly enough, it's one of the first examples I've ever actually ridden of an AMC big single. This one's in rather oily rag condition and is all the better for it. And I have to say, was very impressed by this machine. The engine is lovely and smooth and the chassis very competent on this tight track. It was a ton of fun. The only downside was the gearbox, which on this model, it had been out of use for several years, was a bit on the notchy side. Slight unfortunate moment for Tom coming up. We'd just had a bit of a break. Tom had kick-started the Royal Enfield himself and set off. Problem was, he'd forgotten to turn the petrol on. Of course, I didn't give him any stick about it. No. Elsewhere, Deb has jumped on another A7. This model is quite different from the green one I was riding before though. Being an earlier model, it has essentially a different engine and gearbox setup, and of course has a rigid rear end. It is nonetheless a lovely bike, and if anything is more attractive than the later model. Time for a change of pace now as I take out the all-new Bantam 350. This machine seems generally very capable and pretty well put together. It's very hard to judge of course on this little tight track, and in fact some of the really old bikes are able to tuck up inside it. The bike is just too big to go around a track of this nature. Hopefully we'll get a road-based full review of this bike in the future, but I have to say so far it does seem very nice. And if BSA wanted to fit us up with one of their press bikes, pity please, we wouldn't say no. Admittedly unlikely on a channel of our small size, but there's no harm in asking. The BSA B31 350 single, a name perhaps the company should have brought back for some of their newer machines. For me, the BSA B31 is a true classic, a great chassis with a really characterful single-cylinder little engine. Deb's favourite, Triumph's 3SW 350 side valver. It's an absolute cracker on this little circuit. It turns tightly and is very comfortable. Deb has always wanted one. Maybe one Christmas, who knows what Santa will bring her. Royal Enfield's Meteor 700. It's a big old beast. It's a bike regular viewers may remember I took out on the tour day, and I absolutely loved it. The engine has lots of torque, it's lovely and smooth. The only downside is the front brake, which is terrible. Fortunately on this tight little circuit you don't really need the brakes anyway, so it just doesn't matter. A cracking bike with a style all of its own. Come on Tom, let me past.
Yeah, go on.
I just kept it first.
Yeah, there's no room to go from
Yeah,
dead.
that's so sick, man.
Oh, I know, it's a brilliant opening.
It's late in the day now, and everybody wants to get on the big four strokes. Myself and Tom have no such qualms. We know this little aerial is the bike to be on this tight, twisted track. But when we come in, nobody else really seems to want to ride it. So we end the session switching the bike between us and having a great time. Even when the rain comes down, the bike still handles like an absolute dream. And so yet another really enjoyable Tri-Classic day came to a close.
Take your time?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
That's what you want the best.
Sorry?
That's what you want the best.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course, thank you very much for watching.